Alright, so then let's get these bad boys laid out in the classic Celtic cross. Yeah, that's right. I do not use reversals at all. That'll be our crossing card. That's what your face thought. You can't hear me, so it doesn't matter. Alright, and we are going to use a whole bunch of zoom and pan to look at these. With liberal amounts of autofocus. So, we have a fancy dancy tarot book. And we have a video configuration wizard. We're gonna zoom in on these first couple of cards. So we begin with the Eight of Hazards as our card representing our situation or our self. Here we have it in the book. The Eight of Hazards demonstrates the need to think outside of the outside of the pressurized expansion tank. If a current endeavor is failing or stalling, try rewiring the brain to explore new possibilities and different angles. Don't return to the same tactics over and over. You need to put your talents and imagination to better use. So we're looking at a situation, and I'm not sure exactly where this applies with me right now, but we are ultimately looking at a situation where things are a little bit stagnant maybe. And let's see. Invention, ingenuity, new approach. Situations where I need to do something new. And so even streaming, I need new approaches to streaming all the time. I need to do new things with streaming all the time anyway. So we'll start there. We'll look at it maybe from a streaming perspective, but see how it evolves. Next, we're going to have the Seven of Cups is going to cover that card. And here is our page for that. Choices, consideration, daydreams. Holy smokes, you've hit the jackpot. Too many choices may befuddle even the most determined zombie. But the Seven of Cups signals a decision that needs to be made. Take a minute to decide what's important, then stagger towards your goal. Don't get caught dreaming of possibilities. Look at your options, pick the most attractive cerebellum on the table, and go for it. So we see that in line with the Eight of Hazards, decision making is a big crux right now in this situation. So, and again, I think that applies to streaming for me pretty heavily because there's a lot of different things that I can do with my stream, and I'm probably somewhat unfocused. And I probably need to be more focused with it. So I can take that away from this card here for now. And then we are going to move down all the way to the Justice card. And this is a card that represents, in this case, myself internally, but would represent the querent, as we would say, internally. And kind of as a reader would help me know more why you're here. In this position, being for myself, it really helps me understand why I'm doing this. Why am I even asking a question right now? It serves kind of the same purpose. In the sense that sometimes there's something inside of us that is leading us to do a thing, and we don't even necessarily consciously know why we're being led to do what we're doing. And so here we have page for justice. Impartiality, fairness, and equality. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth takes on an entirely new meaning in the midst of a human zombie war. Thankfully, you can count on justice to right the wrongs, restore harmony, and offer a karmic slap to the back of the head for those who deserve it. Fight the good fight. Don't be on the other side of that slap. I don't know. That almost sums me up as a person. I very much believe in what I believe in is right. I very much believe in wrong what I believe is wrong, and I'm fairly black and white about it. And I very much hold people to my own morals and standards, and I hold everyone to the same morals and standards, which are apparently, I don't want to say better or more right, but higher, more heavy-handed. So that's actual insight into Kage-song as a person there. Free tidbit. And next we will be moving over to the Fool in the recent past. This is such an interesting card in the recent past, even without looking into it. You hear the name the Fool and you think, oh, you're an idiot, you've done something dumb. You've made some kind of a mistake, but that's not the case. It's the beginning of a journey into the unknown, into not knowing what happens next. It's the first card in the series of the Major Arcana, and it is the start of every journey. And so here we have the page, new journey, first steps, hasty choices. Our hero begins his journey with a spring in his step and a healthy set of blinders, unaware of zombie claws reaching for his feet. You are bound to make plenty of mistakes in your new adventures, but your enthusiasm might be enough to carry you through a bumpy beginning. Try to pay attention to your surroundings. And those storm clouds on the horizon? Or are those storm clouds on the horizon? It says. So So yeah, and that's really interesting. If we take a closer look here, if we can, with this weird zooming, you see the clouds back there. But with that shape of those clouds, are they storm clouds? In a zombie apocalypse, storm clouds are kind of just clouds. Um, so it takes on in a typical tarot deck that question: are those storm clouds on the horizon? It's the same outcome question, but it takes on a weird, different twist. Is typically, are those storm clouds? Meaning, is there a storm coming? But in this case, it kind of shows, are those just storm clouds? Is it just something normal that you can weather, or is that a nuclear explosion, Fallout style? Is that something that you're really gonna have to prepare hard for and is gonna catch you super off guard? It's another layer that this deck seems to kind of add to that card that I really like. In the recent past, obviously, I just became a Twitch affiliate recently. It's pretty easy to kind of see where the Fool comes into play here if you think about it with a little bit of time to it. Basically, it's a new journey. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm very enthusiastic, but is it just enthusiasm, or does it come down to not meaning a whole lot of anything, and I'm just on a fool's errand? And have I actually looked forward to what all can go wrong with this? Is it just going to be a challenge to overcome, or is there something I'm not noticing that can go disastrously wrong? Being in this position, I mostly take it as recently I have undertaken a new journey where I do not know all possibilities, and I have to hope that my enthusiasm and my forward push into doing the best that I can is enough to carry that momentum and make something positive of it. And thanks to my viewers that are here on a regular basis, it is turning into something positive. So I really like that. It makes me very happy to know that something positive is coming in my life from this. And I hope that it's bringing positive to my viewers and it's enjoyable. So we will now come back up to up, 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 up. Let's derp the camera. The Three of Cups. And this is clearly a deals with romance. You can see in there that the bride is a zombie to a human. And there's a few ways to see that just off the face. It can just be pure romance. It can be a Romeo and Juliet thing. It can be a wrong choice of lovers. It can be a whole lot of things, especially in this deck. Um, we have the page here. Celebration, partnership, good times. Which is very appropriate in this position in tarot. What this position shows is not necessarily the absolute future, or even a suggested future, but oftentimes it's hopes and dreams or fears or what the goal of the querent, or in this case, my goal. So we're looking at, again, celebration, partnership, good times. Obviously, I want those things. It says, do you take this zombie to be your lawfully wedded spouse? Well, why not? The Three of Cups signals a time of creation, the joining of two misfits in a weird zombie-human union through a wedding, birth, or new partnership. Don't let the criticism or judgment of others interfere with your happiness. Revel in the good times while you can. This has been a pattern of readings on this deck with me. It's very much focused on telling me to just stick to my guns and stick with streaming, which keeps me very encouraged. Um, and so that's obviously what I hope for as a goal as well. Which is specifically in that position. It doesn't say that that's going to be an outcome, but it's absolutely the outcome that I hope for, and that is very true. Will this look better if I turn that low light compensation off, or will it make no difference? Looks like it will make no difference right now. The pictures are so washed out. They're way more pretty than this. So let's bring the tilt down back to the middle. derp, 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 derpy derp. And pan over to the King of Wands. This is the near future, usually like the foreseeable future. The not just is it expected, but you almost already know it's coming in most cases. And here we have the King of Wands. Dur, 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 dur. I did say wands, right? Where the hell is wands in my book? Oh, it's a color thing because that color has so much red. I was going to the wrong pages. It's going to the pages that had all the red. Here's the King of Wands. And that's a really good card there in the near future. I like that. King of Wands represents an entrepreneur, self-reliant, optimism. Um, Self-reliance and optimism is a big deal for me here. Says the King of Wands has an independent streak that allows him to see old problems from new perspectives. Yes, I do. I look at things from all sorts of different weird perspectives, whether they're appropriate ones or not. Not always, frankly. Um, when his leg was blown off by a landmine, he fashioned a new one out of wood. Something of a loner, the King of Wands may not be the cuddliest person in your life, but there's no better source for inventive, practical advice. He's especially good with business and construction. So in this position, the King of Wands could be telling me a couple of different things, actually. It could literally just represent my kind of starting to grow successfully as an entrepreneur, which, like, is awesome. Or it could also suggest that, somebody is, going to come along and help, or that other people are going to help with that. Maybe a little bit of both, but it certainly suggests some success in enterprise and entrepreneurial practices, which is certainly something I like to hear right now. Um, and I'm seeing that growth. I'm seeing channel growth. I'm seeing, albeit very little, I am seeing income, and that is infinitely more than I had before. So there is success. Like I said, the near future card here, it tends to show something that you can kind of already see coming for all it's worth. Um and so a lot of times it almost just helps to define the reading and help you know what path you want to do, if you want to change what's coming next or not. Obviously in this case, no, I don't. And we will see if we can not adjust the camera and come all the way over here to wrong way. The card that scares everybody without reason. It's in a very weird position here for me. It's kind of represents me. Thing about death in most tarot decks, and I'm not super familiar with it in this deck. I haven't come across it too much and seen how it relates in this deck. But most of the time, death in the tarot represents regeneration, not just death, not just bad death things. It's something is dying to make room for the new, out with the old, in with the new. So obviously, I am going through a lot of transformation. So my initial perspective seeing here as what I'm bringing to the table is that the old Kage, or rather the old Miles, is gone by the wayside, and Kage, the new Kage, is coming in to bring something new and make something new. You can see here, even before we get into the book, that this is half zombie, half human. You see things kind of intermingled, and some unity between life and death in that card. And that is 12, 13. I forget what number. 13. And here's our page. And as I was saying, new beginnings, transformation, and rebirth. You just had to take this card literally, didn't you? Rather than seeing the death card as a bad omen, think of it as an opportunity. This is a time to shed bad habits and abandon past restraints. A great transformation may be underway. Go ahead and bury those old relationships. Just be sure they don't crawl back out later. Speaking of old relationships, I happened to see the girl who took my virginity and her whole family in Applebee's today, and God, they snubbed me so hard. She was one of the first loves of my life, my first long term relationship when I was 17 years old, and we were together for a year and a half, and I was sure that that was going to be the rest of my life, and here I am 13 years later, pulling death card, talking about getting rid of old relationships in my life. The 13th card in the tarot 13 years later when I see her the same day, because life is funny. So yeah, transformation, change, obviously I'm bringing that to the table. I'm clearly changing a lot in my life. Let's go up and see what other people are thinking. The 10 of Swords. So here we see like a guy who is clearly getting his ass kicked. He's just a torso, but he's still got that knife in his hand. And he's still got like a machismo saying, "Hey, fuck yeah, I'm gonna slice through everything." And with this, we're looking at other people around me, how other people are affecting this situation, and I feel like a lot of people feel this way: disaster, rotten ruin, destruction. It says, "You've come to the end of the line, and this certainly isn't the outcome you'd hoped for. Betrayal, disappointment, and despair cloud your attitude, but these feelings won't last forever. The Ten of Swords reminds us that sometimes we need to cast old interests aside and start over. If you can't beat them, join them." There is a lot loaded into that for me. A lot of people in my life are skeptical of my success, don't think that streaming and videos is worth a damn and can amount to anything. Don't think I should waste my life on games, but I'm really not physically capable of doing anything else to try to have an income, and damn it, I have an income. It's pennies, but I have an income and it's mine, and I did it myself. As Sinatra says, I did it my way. And so the other thing is that it talks about, like, again, reinforcing that death card down below, casting off those old shadows, and not just noting that there's people around me that would rather see me fail or expect me to fail, but also that, like, I need to cast those people off. And if you don't believe in me, then get the hell out of my life. I don't have time for you, because I have to move forward. I have to do this, and I have to do me. I have to take care of me. And I can't take care of anyone else that I give a living hell about if I don't take care of me first. I don't know how this is gonna go on YouTube. I just realized how graphic this stuff is, but we're gonna put it up. I don't care if it's monetized or not. It's gonna go on YouTube. So we're gonna go ahead and try to move on up the list here. Um, Now, not everybody agrees with me on this next thing, but this is how I read it, and this is how my readings go. To each reader, literally their own. But this card, the ninth card, I see as literally a wild card. Some people use it as their hopes and dreams, with the fifth card just being a uh expected outcome. But I like to do that fifth card as hopes, dreams, fears, what the querent expects to happen in general, rather than just a hoped for outcome. And then this as a pure wild card. You really don't derive meaning from it until it's there. It gives its own meaning. Um, and strength in a lot of ways speaks for itself. Combined with the Ten of Swords before, and the Death before that, and the King of Wands right before that, there's a lot of strength in this reading already. There's a lot of just having the strength and the momentum to move forward and do the next thing. It's always about taking the next right step. And here we are with the page for that, if I can line that up. Resolve, conviction, inner determination. Says your strength comes from within. You've stared down the zombie horde and they blinked first. Or they would have if only they had working eyelids. You've learned that you've learned to trust your instincts and stay on your chosen path. Use that same resolve to cowboy up when the zombies get their second wind. And again, I've been nailing it through this whole reading. I love this as an example reading because it's self-fulfilling. You can already see the results of this in the fact that I am becoming successful and I am making money with my streaming and my videos and stuff, even if it's such a tiny number. That resolve, I've been nailing that through. It's been such a theme in this reading. And it's all about, if I'm going to succeed, it's because I keep trying to succeed, and I never stop trying to succeed. I don't lose until I give up. And that's so important to this overall theme. So, and then finally this 10th card. Let's see how I can get it in frame here. Sorry for all the jumpiness of the camera. Hopefully I get better equipment in time. The 7 of hazards, not technically in the right place, but for the sake of looking nice when I zoom back out. I don't remember what this card represents, honestly, but anyway, the position is, this is going to be the expected outcome. If I keep doing what I'm doing, if things keep going the way they're going, this is what I expect. This is what the universe is telling me to expect. And this has come up before. Hazards is pinnacles or coins. It's earth. It's a representative of material good and material fortune. 7 is a number of fortune. So typically the 7 of coins, pinnacles, or in this case hazards, is going to represent good fortune. I just don't remember exactly what it says in this. So we're just going to bring that up. Exactly what I said, basically. So there we go. Patience, gain, and progress. The test subjects are improving, and your persistence will soon pay off. This current endeavor is still in progress, but you're pleased with the results so far. Yes, I am actually. The only thing left to do is wait and keep the doors bolted. Through careful planning, you'll soon reach the light at the end of the tunnel. So let's go ahead and just zoom on back out and get things recentered here. Looks good enough. I think it is slightly panned. I don't think it'll have any tilt to it. There. So there's the full reading again. I want to have it up so that people can kind of contemplate it in the YouTubes and stuff. And again, just that whole theme of progress, steadfastness. It's a new journey. It's a new endeavor. There's no way that I can be absolutely certain what's coming next. But if I stick to my guns, I have a clear goal. I have a clear idea. I have a clear philosophy. And if I stick to my guns, then that clear philosophy is what's going to lead to that 7 hazards. That patience is going to lead to that success and that gain. And this has actually been a theme when I've done tarot readings with this deck about my streaming. It's been 7 of hazards has come up more than once, for sure. The others are a new way of, I think nothing else has come up before me, except maybe the strength card has come up once about it. So it's whole different cards to give me the same message that it's frankly been giving me. I even have images of those spreads saved, so if people want, I can share those spreads that I've gotten before and discuss those and discuss the differences and how they present this idea and how this presents this idea. But again, I do really like this as a sample spread, and I hope that it encourages people to ask me for readings, because I like doing this for people. It's a lot of fun. And I do genuinely believe that the tarot really helps. I want to get like that frame in there. I want that frame in for a thumbnail. So I'm gonna make sure I get that thumbnail for sure.